cozy September night under the stars. Take a deep breath. Settle into your bed. Pull the blanket just right. Not too heavy, not too light. Place your headphones gently over your ears. Tonight, let everything fade away. Every worry, every rush of the day. Imagine yourself carried backward, not just through the hours of this evening, but through the years. Drift to a time before the world felt so crowded with noise. There are no car horns, no airplanes above, no glow of city lights outside your window. Only the soft, unhurried quiet of a September night in the early 1900s. The air feels cooler here, gentle and pure, touched by the faint scent of earth after a day of mild warmth. You hear nothing mechanical, no hum of electricity, no distant engines, only the natural chorus of night. Crickets sing in the tall grasses beyond the house, their rhythm steady and familiar. A lone owl calls from the woods, its voice carried over the fields like a secret reminder that you are not alone, that the night is alive in its own patient way. You're inside a small farmhouse, wooden and steady, its walls breathing with the years it has stood against wind and rain. The windows are open, framed with lace curtains that sway faintly whenever the breeze drifts in. The smell of wood smoke lingers from supper, and somewhere, just beyond the door, the scent of apples stored in the pantry sweetens the air. The lantern on the table glows softly, its light not sharp but warm, filling the room with shadows that move slowly, like a lullaby across the walls. You lie back, picturing yourself in a bed carved from heavy oak, the quilt over you hand-stitched in patterns passed down through family. Its colors are faded but gentle, a patchwork of blues and burgundy and cream. Every stitch holds a story, every square touch by someone's hands long before tonight. As you breathe, you can almost feel that history resting with you, holding you like a second comfort. Outside, the night deepens, the stars scatter wider across the sky, clear and endless without the haze of modern lights. Each star shines brighter, as if the universe itself leans closer when the world is quieter. Imagine stepping outside onto the porch. The wooden boards creak softly under your feet, but even that sound belongs here, natural as the whisper of the wind through the tall trees at the edge of the field. The air is cool enough to draw a shiver, but cozy enough that you pull the quilt tighter around your shoulders, carrying warmth with you as you look upward. Above, the sky is endless. You see constellations your grandparents might have pointed out, names whispered across generations. Orion, Cassiopeia, the Big Dipper arcing high. You don't need a telescope. Your eyes are enough. The stars are so many, so uncountable they seem like grains of sand poured across black velvet. Some flicker faintly, others glow steady and bold. You breathe slower, deeper, as if every inhale gathers a little starlight to carry back with you. The night is alive with small details. A soft rustle in the grass tells you a rabbit has come close, curious but cautious. A gentle breeze carries the distant sound of a creek flowing steadily. Water that has been singing this same song for countless seasons. From far across the field, the faint ringing of a cowbell drifts through the darkness, each note slow and unhurried, reminding you of the animals resting for the night, safe in the barn. Back inside, the farmhouse waits with its quiet heartbeat. The ticking of a clock on the mantel counts the moments softly, not demanding attention, but giving rhythm to the silence. The lantern burns lower, its flame dancing in smaller arcs. The chair by the hearth, worn smooth by use, still holds the memory of someone rocking there, knitting or reading as the fire once burned. Now, only the embers glow faintly, a reminder of warmth that carried through the day. You sink deeper into the feeling of this time. No telephone wires hum above. No roads cut across the fields. Beyond the farmhouse stretches open land, rolling and dark, bordered by woods that have stood long before people built here. You realize how quiet the world becomes when machines step aside. The silence is not empty. It is full of crickets and owls, of creeks and wind, of stars that shine brighter when nothing interrupts their light. Your body softens as you listen. Imagine lying back in the bed again, quilt tucked around you. The window above your head shows a slice of sky, a moving picture of stars framed by the lace curtains. Each breath you take slows you further, each sound folding into your mind like a layer of peace. You are safe here, wrapped not only in blankets, but in time itself, as if this September night has waited 100 years just to welcome you. As you rest, you notice the small things. The faint scent of dried lavender tucked in a drawer to keep linens fresh, the wooden floor cool beneath your bare feet if you step down, the sound of your own breath mingling with the night air. Every detail belongs here. Every detail simple yet deep, reminding you of a time when life moved with the pace of nature and not against it. The stars outside continue their silent vigil. You imagine one falling, streaking across the sky in a brief silver arc. You don't need to make a wish. You already have what you need. The night itself is your gift, quiet and steady, ancient and eternal. You carry it inside you as you drift, as your mind begins to wander toward sleep. Let the crickets sing you further, their rhythm steady as a heartbeat. Let the owl's call remind you that mystery belongs to the night, but never threatens it. Let the stars remind you that you are part of something vast, something gentle, something old as time itself. The farmhouse, the field, the sky, all of it is your blanket tonight. All of it wraps you closer, softer, deeper. So breathe again, slowly. Let your eyes grow heavier. Let your thoughts fall away. Tonight, you are not in the rush of the modern world. Tonight, you are resting in a cozy September night beneath the stars, safe, timeless, and free. The night stretches on, unbroken and calm, and you find yourself lingering in the quiet farmhouse as though time has paused just for you. The quilt still holds you gently, but your mind drifts outward, wandering past the walls into the open country, waiting under the stars. With a small breath, you rise from the bed. The floorboards beneath you cool against your bare feet. They creak softly, not in protest, but in greeting, like an old friend acknowledging your presence. You move toward the door, and when you step outside again, the air is even crisper now. September's chill has deepened, and it carries the faint sweetness of hay drying in the fields. Above, the sky has only grown clearer, as though each passing hour wipes away a veil, letting more stars shine through. The moon hangs lower, silver and round, bathing the land in its gentle glow. It touches the tops of the trees, the slope of the barn roof, and the grass blades that sway as if whispering secrets to one another. The path that winds beyond the farmhouse seems to beckon, so you follow it. Every step feels slower, more deliberate, as though your body already knows you're not in a hurry. This is not a night to rush. It is a night to notice. The crickets sing endlessly, their steady chorus blending with the distant trickle of water from the creek. Somewhere far off, a dog barks once, sharp and quick, then falls quiet again. The world is hushed, but never empty. It is alive in ways too subtle to belong to daylight. You pause along the path and glance back at the farmhouse. Its lantern glows faintly in the window, a beacon of warmth behind you, small but steady. It looks like something out of a painting, a reminder that people once lived slower, closer to the rhythms of the land. You turn forward again, letting the path carry you deeper into the night. The fields open wide around you, their grasses stretching like an ocean under the sky. Fireflies dart here and there, blinking softly, sometimes disappearing entirely only to reappear a few feet away, their little lamps like playful companions. You watch them dance, and for a moment, it feels like they are guiding you forward, showing the way as though they've walked this path longer than you ever could. Ahead, the sound of the creek grows clearer. The path dips slightly, and there it is, water slipping gently over smooth stones, reflecting the light of the stars above. The surface shimmers like a broken mirror, rippling with every movement of the current. You kneel by the bank, dipping your fingers into the stream. The water is cool, almost cold, and it carries with it the fresh taste of earth and stone. You imagine how many others, a century ago, might have come here on nights like this, to fill a pail, to wash their hands, or simply to pause and listen as you are now. Across the water, the woods stand tall, dark, and quiet. Their trunks rise like sentinels, their branches thick with leaves that rustle softly in the breeze. An owl calls again from somewhere within, its voice deep and steady. The sound echoes off the trees and drifts back toward you, a reminder that this is its world too. You feel no fear, only connection, as though you are sharing the night with creatures who have always belonged here. You sit by the creek for a while, letting the sound of running water mix with the night's chorus. Each detail adds a layer to the quiet peace wrapping around you. The faint rustle of grass, the whisper of wind, the steady rhythm of crickets. Even the silence between sounds feels alive, like the pause between heartbeats. You close your eyes, and for a moment, you imagine you are lying back on the soft grass, the sky stretched above you, stars wheeling slowly across their endless canvas. When you open your eyes again, you rise and follow the creek upstream. The path here is less worn, the grass taller, brushing against your legs as you move. The air feels heavier with dew, and the scent of earth grows stronger, richer. You come upon a small wooden bridge, its planks weathered but sturdy, stretching across the water. You step carefully onto it, the boards creaking under your weight, their sound joining the song of the night. From the center of the bridge, you pause and lean against the railing, gazing down at the water flowing beneath you. The stars above reflect faintly on its surface, scattered and shifting with the current, as though the heavens themselves have fallen into the stream to drift gently downstream. You linger there, watching, until the night sky draws your eyes upward again. A shooting star streaks across the horizon, sudden and bright, gone in an instant. You don't rush to make a wish. The night itself already feels like the answer to one. On the far side of the bridge, the land slopes gently upward, leading toward the orchard. You can see the faint outlines of trees, their branches heavy with late apples that glow faintly in the moonlight. The orchard is quiet, but as you step closer, you can hear the soft thump of a fruit falling to the ground, a small reminder that nature moves at its own unhurried pace. The smell of apples hangs in the air, sweet and comforting, mingling with the dampness of the grass. You reach out and pluck one from a low branch, its skin cool and smooth beneath your fingers. When you hold it to your nose, it carries the scent of autumn, crisp and fresh. You sit beneath one of the trees, the trunk rough against your back, and take a bite. The apple is sweet, the juice sharp and refreshing. Each chew is slow, deliberate, and as you swallow, you can almost feel the warmth of the earth and the patience of the tree that bore it. You finish it quietly, setting the core aside for the soil to reclaim, and tilt your head back to stare at the stars through the branches above. The orchard feels timeless, a place where generations might have gathered, children chasing one another between the trees during the day, families picking fruit together before supper. Now it is yours alone, but their presence lingers in the air, in the roots, in the branches heavy with fruit. You breathe deeply, letting the orchard's quiet strength seep into you, grounding you in its history. The night grows later. The moon climbs higher, casting sharper shadows across the ground. You rise slowly and make your way back along the path, through the orchard, across the bridge, past the creek. The farmhouse lantern glows faintly in the distance, calling you home. Its light grows brighter as you approach, until you are once again stepping onto the porch, hearing the familiar creak of its boards. Inside, the air is warmer than the fields, carrying the faint scent of smoke and bread. The quilt waits on the oak bed, soft and welcoming. You slip beneath it once more, feeling the weight of fabric, the history stitched into its patches, the safety of being wrapped again in its comfort. The window above your bed frames a slice of sky, and through it you see the stars still shining, steady and patient. The owl calls one final time in the distance, and the crickets sing their endless song. Your breath slows, your eyes grow heavy. The September night, cozy and endless, wraps around you once more. Sleep comes not with force, but gently, as though the stars themselves lower a blanket across you, and the night whispers softly in your ear. Rest now. You are safe. You are home. And you are part of this timeless September night under the stars. The farmhouse is quiet now, but not empty. Silence in this time is never hollow. It is full of life, full of the small, steady rhythms that carry the night forward. As you lie there beneath the quilt, you notice how deeply the wood of the house seems to breathe. The timbers, cut from trees that once stood tall in nearby forests, creak faintly with the shift of temperature. It is a sound that belongs, a reminder that even the walls around you live in harmony with the night. The air drifting through the open window is cooler now, kissed with dew. Outside, the fields are darker, the edges of the woods blending into the sky. A veil of silver light, cast by the half-moon, paints the grass in soft shades, each blade shimmering faintly as if the earth itself holds tiny stars upon it. The farmhouse porch rests in shadow, and beyond it, the faintest path is visible, a trail worn by years of footsteps leading from house to barn. And then you hear it. Not startling, not abrupt, just the distant sound of hooves shifting against the stable floor. A gentle rhythm of animals moving in their sleep. The cows murmur softly, as if dreaming. A horse exhales, long and low, followed by the sound of its hoof brushing against hay. These creatures are part of the night, too, their rest as natural as your own. You imagine walking there, quilt still wrapped around your shoulders. The wooden boards of the porch creak beneath your bare feet, the cool air brushing across your face. You step carefully onto the path, the earth damp and soft beneath you. The barn waits ahead, its silhouette tall against the starry sky. A lantern hangs outside the door, its flame burning low, but steady, a guardian light for those within. As you draw closer, the scents deepen. Fresh hay, sweet and golden, mixes with the earthier smell of animals resting. The barn door stands slightly open, enough for the warm glow of the lantern inside to spill out, painting a path across the grass. You step inside, and the barn embraces you with its quiet life. The cows shift gently in their stalls, their soft eyes reflecting the lantern's glow. A calf nudges against its mother, sighing softly in sleep. The horse turns its head, ears flicking in recognition of your presence, but it makes no sound beyond a low, contented breath. Even the chickens, nestled in their roosts, seem to stir faintly only to tuck themselves back into feathers. The barn is not noisy, it is restful. Each sound is small, unhurried, part of a steady rhythm. You lean against a wooden beam, quilt still draped around you, and listen. Here, in this place, the line between waking and dreaming feels thin. The barn animals sleep, but their quiet movements create a lullaby of their own, blending with the crickets outside. For a moment, you close your eyes. You let yourself imagine what it would be like to live each day here, in this time. To wake with the sun instead of alarms. To work with hands, not machines. To rest not because the clock demands it, but because the body knows it is time. In this September night of the 1900s, rest is not a luxury. It is natural, steady, expected, like the stars themselves. When you step back outside, the air feels fresher still. The stars above have shifted slightly, the constellations making their slow journey westward. The night sky, infinite and ancient, reminds you that time is not measured in hours here. It is measured in the steady turning of the earth, the rising of stars, the setting of the moon. The farmhouse glows faintly from the windows as you walk back. The lace curtains flutter, waiting for you. The lantern inside burns low, steady against the deepening dark. As you step once more onto the porch, you pause, letting your eyes wander across the fields. In the distance, fireflies rise, small sparks drifting up and down, their light soft and playful. They blink in patterns that seem like whispers, as if they are sharing secrets only the night understands. Back inside, the house feels warmer, as though it has missed you. The quilt slides from your shoulders as you move toward the chair by the hearth. The fire has burned down to coals now, but the faint glow still lingers, casting a red shimmer across the stone. You lower yourself into the chair, the wood creaking familiarly beneath you, and let your body sink deeper into its rhythm. The ticking clock continues on the mantel, marking the passage of time, but without hurry. Its sound is not demanding. It is soothing, a reminder that every second belongs to you. You notice a book resting on the small side table, its cover worn from use. Perhaps it is a collection of poems, or a journal of someone's thoughts. The pages smell faintly of age, the paper soft but strong, carrying words that once mattered deeply to someone. You flip a page or two, but the words blur with the heaviness in your eyes. They are less important than the feeling, the weight of history resting in your hands, reminding you that countless nights like this have passed. Countless hearts before yours have found peace under September stars. Soon, you rise again, carrying yourself back to the bed. The quilt waits patiently, its hand-stitched squares cool beneath your fingertips. You slide beneath it once more, and the bed welcomes you with its deep, familiar softness. The air from the window has grown cooler, crisp enough to brush against your skin, but the quilt holds you warm. Through the open window, you see the night sky framed perfectly above. A gentle breeze sways the curtains, carrying the scent of hay and faint apple sweetness from the pantry. The crickets are still singing, steady and rhythmic. The owl calls again, its voice distant but clear, a reminder that the night belongs to many lives at once. Your thoughts drift now, softer, slower. The farmhouse, the barn, the fields, all blur into one vast quilt of their own, stitched together by stars and silence. Each breath you take settles you deeper, as though the bed itself were carrying you closer to the heart of the night. And as your eyes grow heavier, you realize the truth of this moment. That peace is not something you must search for. It has always been here, waiting in the quiet, waiting beneath the September sky. You are simply remembering it, letting it wrap around you once again. So let yourself drift. Let the farmhouse hold you, the quilt cover you, the stars watch over you. The night is long, but gentle. You are safe here, in this September night, beneath the stars. And with every breath, every heartbeat, you sink deeper into timeless rest, carried softly through the hours that belong only to you. The quilt rests heavy yet comforting across your chest, stitched squares pressing their soft history against you. The farmhouse holds its breath in the dark, a guardian of silence and rest. For a while, you lie still, listening not with your ears, but with your whole being. The house speaks in tiny whispers, the faint creak of beams adjusting to the night air, the soft sigh of lace curtains brushing against the windowsill, the steady tick of the clock. These are not interruptions, but reminders. Reminders that the night is alive, that every sound belongs to its rhythm. The stars beyond the window have shifted. You can tell not because you watch them carefully, but because their light falls differently into the room now. A brighter glow leans into the corner where the dresser stands, illuminating the hand-carved details in wood polished by years of touch. Time moves differently here, not in minutes, but in the movement of stars, the turn of constellations that your great-grandparents once recognized without effort. You close your eyes and imagine their lives in this very space. Generations who may have laid their heads upon this same quilt, who may have stepped barefoot across the same wooden floorboards, hearing the same crickets and owls through the same September air. They too must have felt this serenity, this unbroken connection to the land and the sky. In a way, the house carries them still, echoes of laughter, of supper shared, of quiet prayers whispered before sleep. Their lives are woven into the timbers, stitched into the quilt, carried in the very breath of the farmhouse. Outside, the barn is still. The animals have quieted completely now, lulled into their deepest rest. The faint smell of hay drifts in through the window, as if reminding you that life continues even in sleep, that the earth itself breathes while all is still. Beyond the barn, the creek trickles endlessly, its song the same as it was yesterday, and as it will be tomorrow. A song older than the farmhouse, older even than the fields that surround it. And then, a shift. Subtle, almost imperceptible. The night begins to lean toward dawn. Not yet light, not yet morning, but the kind of silence that comes just before the first hint of change. The stars still shine, but faintly, as though preparing to surrender their watch to the sun. The moon hangs lower, its silver face softening, as if it too grows sleepy. You breathe it in, this fragile balance between night and day. You imagine rising once more, your body wrapped in the quilt as you pad quietly to the porch. The boards greet you with their familiar creak, but even they seem softer now, as if they too sense the delicate shift. The air outside is cooler still, with a dampness that speaks of dew forming on the grass. The fields stretch endlessly before you, their edges dark, but glistening faintly as moisture gathers. The sky above is vast. The stars, countless as sand, shimmer less urgently now. At the horizon, the faintest wash of color appears, not light yet, but a suggestion. A shade of deepest indigo softens into pale violet, a thread of change that runs so thin you wonder if you imagine it. The world is preparing itself, not rushing, not breaking the peace, but simply unfolding the way it always has. And in this moment, you feel suspended. You are neither in night nor day. You exist in the scene between them, a quiet place where time seems to pause. You wrap the quilt closer around yourself and listen. The crickets have grown quieter, their chorus thinning, as if they too sense the approach of dawn. The owl is silent now, retreating to its hidden place. In their stead, another sound emerges, faint, hesitant, yet clear. The first call of a bird greeting the coming day. It is a single note at first, fragile and alone. Then another joins from further across the field, and then another, until the silence carries not crickets, but birdsong, soft as threads, weaving into a new quilt of sound. The transition is not abrupt. It is gentle, respectful, like a new voice joining a lullaby rather than replacing it. You smile faintly, realizing you are witness to a ritual older than memory, one that repeats every morning, yet always feels like a gift. You step off the porch into the grass. The damp earth greets your feet, cool and soft. Each step presses into the dew, leaving a trail that sparkles faintly in the dim light. You walk slowly, deliberately, toward the barn once again. But this time, everything feels different. The barn no longer rests in heavy night. It waits, patient, but ready for the sun. The lantern outside flickers with the last of its oil, its flame small, but proud. Inside, the animals stir faintly, sensing morning's approach before you can. The horse shakes its mane, hooves shifting against hay. The cows breathe deeper, heavier, the sound of their bodies waking from rest. The rooster lifts its head, feathers rustling softly, as if preparing for its proud call. Soon, the farm will awaken fully, but not yet. The peace lingers still, a thin veil draped over the land, allowing you a final moment in this perfect balance. When you return to the farmhouse, you carry that stillness with you. The wooden walls greet you with their familiar warmth, as though they too have noticed the change outside. You slip back into the room, back beneath the quilt, and lie still once more. Through the window, the horizon glows faintly now, violet deepening into rose. The lace curtains flutter in the breeze, framing the first whispers of dawn. Your body relaxes as though it has accomplished something, though you have done nothing more than witness. That is the secret of this night, this September night beneath the stars. Peace is not something you chase. It is something you allow, something you welcome, something you breathe. And as you close your eyes once more, sinking deeper into the quilt, you realize that the farmhouse has given you what you needed most. The crickets fade, the birds rise in song, the stars retreat, and you, still, calm, timeless, drift deeper into the rhythm of it all. Here, in this seam between night and day, you are safe. You are whole. You are home. The sky is no longer black. It carries a quiet blush, a faint warmth stretching upward from the horizon, as if the earth itself is exhaling after a long night of holding its breath. You lie beneath the quilt, eyes half closed, letting this subtle change wash over you. There is no rush in the air, no urgency, only the slow, steady unfurling of dawn. The crickets have disappeared almost entirely, their song folded back into the earth, until evening calls it forth again. In their absence, the birds have gathered in number. Their voices overlap in gentle chorus, sparrows, robins, and the lone proud rooster who lifts his cry into the waking fields. The call rings clear, not sharp, but certain, declaring to the land that morning has come. The farmhouse accepts this truth with quiet grace. The wooden beams stretch, creaking faintly as they warm to the day. The lace curtains lift softly in the breeze, glowing faintly pink as the rising sun brushes their fabric. The clock ticks on, no louder than before, but its rhythm feels lighter now, as though even time knows the weight of the night has lifted. You imagine stepping outside one final time. The porch greets you, its boards cool beneath your feet. The dew sparkles across the fields, thousands of tiny gems scattered upon the grass. Each blade bends beneath its gift of water, glistening brighter with every breath of light that climbs the sky. The barn waits in gentle silhouette, its outline etched in gold as the first rays stretch across its roof. The horizon glows wider now, colors shifting like water poured across the heavens. Violet deepens into rose, rose softens into peach, and at the very edge, where the earth meets sky, a pure golden light gathers. It is the same light seen by countless generations before you, the same dawn that greeted your ancestors when they woke in this very place. You feel connected through time, stitched not by wires or screens, but by sky and soil and the steady gift of morning. The animals stir more fully now. The cows shift in the barn, their low voices carrying across the field. The horse steps forward, mane catching the first touch of light. Chickens flutter and cluck softly, their world already alive with purpose. And yet, despite this activity, the peace remains. Morning here is not chaos. It is rhythm. Every sound, every stir belongs to the song of the land awakening. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with air washed clean by night and kissed by dawn. It smells of earth, of hay, of wood, and faintly of apples stored in the pantry. The farmhouse door stands open, and you step back inside, quilt trailing over your shoulders like a cloak of memory. The lantern on the table has burned out, its glass cool to the touch. But sunlight begins to spill through the windows now, painting the walls with soft gold. You return to the oak bed, to the quilt stitched with love and history, and lie down once more. The stars are gone from view, their vigil complete, their duty handed over to the sun. You close your eyes, not in weariness, but in contentment. For though the world outside prepares to move, to begin its tasks, here within the farmhouse you carry the timeless quiet of the night. You realize that peace is not something bound to hours or seasons. It is something you carry within, something you can return to whenever you need. The farmhouse, the quilt, the stars, the dawn, they are all inside you now, safe and endless. The birds continue to sing. The sunlight continues to rise. But for you, the moment remains eternal, held gently in the rhythm of your breath. And as the story closes, as the September night gives way to morning, you drift into the kind of rest that feels deeper than sleep. A rest that carries the weight of generations, the calm of stars, and the promise of dawn. You are safe. You are whole. You are home. Thank you for joining me on this cozy journey through a September night beneath the stars. I hope it brought you calm, comfort, and the rest you needed. If you enjoyed drifting through this story, come back again for more nights like this, nights filled with warmth, memory, and peace. Sweet dreams. Until next time.